Today is an exciting day for we're gonna build our fully working graphical user interface, our GUI, to implement this logic, our business logic backend of Silent Scatter into a full-fledged desktop application. So let's implement this now. Let's go. First, we're gonna pip install Kinter. I mean custom tk inter. Let's go. This will gonna load, and once we have done installing this, we're gonna do our work. We have trouble installing our tinter. It's gonna clear everything. We're gonna ping google.com. Okay, we're gonna ping pypy.org. Okay, so I think pip is not being properly executed. We're gonna use python 3 -m pip install custom tk inter. This will do. Should be. Okay, it's downloading now. Let's go. Okay, so inside our app, we're gonna create a directory. We're gonna call GUI. Then inside this, we're gonna make components directory. Inside our GUI, we're gonna call GUI.py. Here, we're gonna import our custom tk-enter as ctk. We're gonna call app ctk.ctk. So our app title will be Silent Scatter. Our app, I think this is gonna good 400 by 300 pixels. I think 500 is much better. Then we're gonna create our variables. So we're gonna call this selected file equals to ctk with the default value of no file selected. So this is just a UI state initialization. Then our UI components. First, we're gonna have our title label. Title label is equals to ctk label app text silent scatter. So our title label PADI equals to 10. Pack means place this on screen with vertical scaling of 10. Then we're gonna go with our file label, meaning file label ctk label app selected file. We're gonna make this also vertical spacing of 10. Let's change our title label spacing 20. Now our select file button using a ctk button, select audio file with also vertical spacing of 10. So start button must be disabled. So this is start button, start cutting disabled. Also vertical spacing of 10. So what this does mean is the button is not selectable or clickable until a file is selected. We're gonna do it later. So the final piece of the puzzle is to run using app. I think for now we're gonna do this. Components is not needed for now. We're gonna keep this simple as much as possible. Okay, so right now is the UI, but let's convert this to be alive. So first we're gonna import our file dialog. So what this does do, this is responsible for our selecting file. Okay, for our state, we're gonna change this to none. So this is our initial state. But when file is selected, this becomes dynamic. So the name of this file will be string var, ctk string var. So we have a file label here. So this is just for name. So let's change this to state for proper. So our text variable will become our file label name. Okay. Select audio file, this should be select video, and we need to put a command parameter here in our file select. Our command is our select video, which we're gonna be creating. So above our UI components, we will be creating a function. Okay, first let's do this state function so that we'll be able to see this properly. We're gonna define a function for our select video. No, should not be in. This should be inside here. Def select video. So first we're gonna make this global selected file because we're gonna modify the scope. So select video is not accessible outside until we declare it as global. Here in our, let's add mkv video files, all files. Initial dir we do not need this. So if a file name is selected and we're gonna assign the global, so we're gonna set our file label as the file name selected. So this just only shows our file name. Then remember our start button that is disabled initially here. Once a file name is selected, we're gonna make this normal or clickable. Then we're gonna define another function. We're gonna call this start cutting. So if a file, if there is a selected file, we're gonna put a debug process here, but that logic is gonna be later.